We are starting with some breaking news tonight. Seattle police are responding to a shooting near Westlake Mall in Seattle. They did find one person with an apparent gunshot wound, they said. That person is in critical condition. Officers and canine units are searching the area for a possible suspect. They say this is an ongoing investigation. We'll keep you updated as we learn more. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
It's good to have you with us tonight. I'm Whitney Ward. The first U.S. case of the coronavirus has now been reported here in Washington. The CDC says it was identified in a man in Snohomish County. Today, the CDC identified that virus. He's now being hospitalized at Providence Medical Center in Everett. Experts say the man is in his 30s, had just returned to the U.S. from Wuhan, China last Wednesday. He traveled through SeaTac International Airport. So the CDC says he is now in good condition and is not considered to be a threat to medical staff or the public. The CDC says despite this outbreak, there is not believed to be any high risk of the virus spreading. And today, Governor Inslee reaffirmed that position.
The good news is the CDC, and we also agree that the risk is low to residents of the state of Washington. And this is certainly not a moment for panic or high anxiety. It is a moment for vigilance.
Providence is also contacting a small number of staff and patients who may have come into contact with the patient. They're also setting up a screening system to identify patients at risk for the infection.
Well, you know, Spokane is all too familiar with potholes, and now with the ever-changing weather, you might see more start to pop up.
KREM 2's Brandon Jones explains what the city is doing to try to solve the problem.
Potholes wake up in the morning and dream of these kind of conditions. I mean, it's raining right now, the snow is melting, and there's just water laying on the roads. And the city knows this, so they have to take action and plan against them before they even form.
This is prime pothole season right now.
Once the water begins to seep through the pavement, that's when issues begin to form. Temperatures drop, the water freezes, and the roads begin to break up, thus leading to bumpy rides on your way to work in the winter.
We are starting to see potholes pop up, literally, and getting a lot of reports of potholes across the city.
Clint tells me 4,400 potholes were filled in 2019, and they've already had 149 to fill in the month of January alone. The same trucks they used last week to plow all of the snow off of the roads had to turn around this week and focus their attention to potholes that have formed. But when temperatures are low, they have to use something called cold mix, which usually has to be replaced by the spring. That's why they were open to new methods of paving in the fall. So Bernard Street is one of those roads that the city tested microsurfacing out, and I haven't felt a single bump and haven't spotted one pothole yet. Microsurfacing basically extends the life of the roads. It's a combination of different methods such as crack seal, grind, and overlay.
We're finding the surface is wearing really well. We're also looking at a fog seal to put over the pavement.
In the meantime, if you're having problems with potholes, you can call the city at 311 to report them. From Spokane, Brandon Jones, KREM 2 News.
Several government leaders, including Congresswoman Kathy McMorris Rodgers, flew in to announce funding for a Spokane transit project. The U.S. Department of Transportation assigned $53.4 million to the City Line project. It will create 6 bus stops connecting Brown's Addition to the east side of Spokane Community College.
It's going to make a lot of difference in the access and mobility for riders that use public transportation every day.
So the Department of Transportation just announced last April it would make this funding available. Today, though, that money was officially added to the project. It's estimated to cost a total of $92 million. Leaders expect the new route will serve more than 1 million people just in its first year of service. It's set to open for riders next year.
Well, what a difference a week can make. Things are warming up around the inland Northwest.
I'm certainly glad about that. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick is in for Tom Sherry tonight with all of those happy details.
Yeah, just little by little, those temperatures inching up to the point where we can actually melt a little bit of that snow during the day, despite the lack of sunshine. But today we actually had a little bit of rain during the morning and afternoon hours. Most of that precipitation continues to march off eastward, still a little bit over the Silver Valley as you see it near Kellogg and Wallace at the moment. And over the last hour, I saw a little bit over the Palouse and near Lewiston. Looks like that should be out of the way pretty shortly too. Looks like Orofino is going to hang on to that rain for a little bit longer. But here's the deal. Warm and wet weather pattern for not just the rest of this week, but the rest of the month. but we keep that active pattern in place. So that means a lot of rain chances ahead. I mean, that looks like a very rainy stretch all the way through the weekend. Some days may get more than others, but still tracking just a little blip more of snow before we get to the weekend. That plus what our flooding potential is going to look like. I'll have a breakdown of that across the state coming up in just a few minutes.
Sounds good, Thomas. Thank you. A Spokane couple recently learned the hard way that bad luck can indeed strike twice. Over the weekend, they got stuck on a 49 degrees north chairlift after the power went out.
And about the same time last year on that same chairlift, they saw the chair right in front of them fall off the cable. Luckily, no one was hurt. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley shares their unlucky story. Amanda?
Well, it's one thing to live through seeing the chairlift in front of you break off the cable, but when you get stuck on the same chairlift nearly a year later, you have to wonder if your luck has run out. And that is what happened to Evan and Jamie Lunt.
On Sunday morning, Evan and Jamie Lunt made it halfway up chairlift 1 at 49 degrees north when it suddenly came to a stop. While waiting for the lift to start up again, Jamie posted this on Facebook. She wrote, "What can we say? We have no luck at 49 degrees north. First run of the day, and we get stuck on the chairlift halfway up again." That's right, again. The last time this couple got stuck on that same chairlift, they saw the chair in front of them fall with people on it. Jamie captured this video in February last year of staff trying to reattach it.
But my initial reaction was, why? Like, why us? Why does this have to happen to us? We didn't think this was going to happen. We just have really bad luck with that chair.
Thankfully, this time around, the chairs remained intact.
My wife had called the lodge to see what happened. They said that the power went off. So we could be stuck up there for an hour and a half.
49 degrees north spokesperson Emily McDaniel said in an email an Avista transmission line failure occurred. It affected 6,000 people and 3 substations in the local area. She says Mountain Operations responded by switching to auxiliary power to get lifts moving and guests unloaded safely. 25 minutes later, the power came back, which meant Evan and Jamie could resume their day in the snow.
Kind of things happen where you can't control it. We still had a fun time. Weather was great. Snow was great.
Now, the first time we shared this couple's story, they said they would definitely return to 49 degrees north, which they did. So I asked them the same question again, and they still say they'll be back up there again. Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Love their attitude, Amanda. Thank you. Well, the presence of pancake ice and tall waves, just 2 recent findings from a November research trip to the Arctic Ocean. That's aboard a University of Washington research ship. So pancake ice is what you're seeing right there, just round discs of very thin ice. It's pretty common in Antarctica, where waves are more violent in the southern oceans. It wasn't until recently that pancake ice was seen in the Arctic Ocean. Video from NASA shows just how far the ice retreated in 2019. Especially compared to the average summer ice sheet since 1981.
I really was overwhelmed when he said that.
Karla Pepperzak lives in Spokane now. Her roots take her back to the Netherlands during the Holocaust. She's spoken to thousands about her experiences.
And over the weekend, she learned she was selected as Washington State's Person of the Year. Our Shayna Waltauer sat down with a survivor to learn more about this great achievement.
Yeah, guys, you might remember Karla from a story that we did with her from just about a year ago. She just published her memoir titled Keys of My Life. It was a small 236-page book that told the much bigger story about her past experiences. Well, now she's made another accomplishment. So we had to catch up with her, with Karla, to see exactly how she feels about this big achievement.
I can talk for hours, but you don't want that.
Karla Pepperzak's story draws the ears of any listener. At the age of 18, she joined the Dutch resistance against the Nazis when she helped hide much of her family. She later disguised as a German nurse to help hide her brother and then other Jews from capture. Karla freely told us her story today, but she wasn't always open about sharing. She didn't start publicly speaking in the U.S. until about 16 years ago.
For so many years I didn't talk about it.
Now, at the age of 96, she's the official spokesperson for the Holocaust Institute in Seattle. She also goes to local schools to share what she says we should take away from the events of the Holocaust.
The message is really if anybody can help other people, and I always end my talk with the word respect. Because if one can respect each other, and even if one doesn't understand each other or don't like each other, this could not happen again.
This work is what got her a call from the lieutenant governor on Friday, telling her she'd been selected as Washington's Person of the Year.
I couldn't quite get my arms around it. I still can't. It's very difficult to understand that this is happening.
She says she's thrilled about the recognition, but her biggest reward comes from knowing she's inspiring others to look out for each other.
Well, some students get letters and they're very appreciative, and they really understand that what I'm trying, the message which I'm trying to get across. I really was overwhelmed when he said that.
Now, Karla says while she does love sharing her story, the memories still haven't made it any easier for her to talk about and to still share. Well, she'll be in Olympia at the governor's mansion on February 22nd to receive her great honor. Reporting in the newsroom, Shayna Waldtower, KREM News.